And the Sony PlayStation dumpster fire rages on after Sony announced they were ending physical discs in 2028. They would no longer make discs for PlayStation consoles. Gamers are livid. They're absolutely furious. Some of Sony's partners are not happy. They're trying desperately to retain their users. I know yesterday we covered that they were giving 50% off in some cases to people who are canceling PlayStation Network in protest. And now we have a couple more wrinkles to this wrinkly nutsack of a story. PS5 fans are trying to figure out how to jailbreak their systems. That's interesting. Apparently, according to Kotaku and Polygon, the search term PS5 jailbreak is trending on Google. So we'll talk about that. But really what I want to talk about first is the CEO of Sony selling over half his stock. And I guess some other executives sold their stock too. And this is following the disc announcement. Now, a couple things to consider here. When you sell this much stock, it's something that has to be kind of prearranged. You can't just, pick up your Robinhood app, I guess, and dump that much stock. There has to be filings and all of that. So this was premeditated. However, the timing is suspect because they would have known months ago or even a year or two ago when they were going to make this announcement that they were going to end physical disc production. Companies the size of Sony and also Disney don't make snap decisions. They don't. They have roadmaps 2 years out, 5 years out, 10 years out of where they want to be, and then they work on phasing things in and out according to those plans. So they've known for a while that they weren't going to continue to make physical discs anymore. They already made the decision, I'm sure, not to ship the PlayStation 6 with a physical disc drive. I'm sure they'll ship it at like $1,200, $1,500 or whatever if people buy it. But yeah, so, I mean, it's a coincidence, but also I don't think it's really a coincidence. I think they know this is going to be a very unpopular decision in the long term. Now, in the short term, Sony's stock is going up. And that's because shareholders like this. They like that, oh, you mean Sony's gonna print money? They're not going to have to manufacture those pesky discs anymore, and they're going to get more money per gamer now because everybody has to buy their own license and they're never going to own their games, so they'll have to keep paying again and again and again. Oh, we like that. I think the reality is starting to set in, though, because after the backlash really kicked into high gear, it started to drop again. So we'll see. And it's still a couple of years out, right? But let's talk about all of this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. If you want more Clownfish TV, go out to more.clownfishtv.com. That's more.clownfishtv.com, including episodes. You'll find episodes you will not find anywhere else, including this one we put up yesterday that the BBC is going to force you to watch them on YouTube and not your favorite creators. So you can also go out to iTunes, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, and you can listen to the audio version out there as well. You can take us with you and not miss an episode. So thank you very much for that. This is coming from Insider Gaming. Sony CEO sells over half of his stock following PlayStation disc announcement. Sony CEO is that Hiroki Totoki has sold more than half of his stock in the company. A recent United States Securities and Exchange Commission SEC filing shows that the 61-year-old sold millions of dollars worth of stock just 2 days after the announcement that PlayStation was going to cease production of physical discs in January of 2028. A coincidence? Possibly. But yeah, it also came during a time when the stock saw a slight bump in price after the news broke. So he made millions of dollars. According to the SEC filing, he sold 225,000 shares of Sony stock on July 3rd at $21 a share. He pulled in $4.7 million on the transaction. The 225,000 shares represents 56% of his total stake in the company, so more than half. Following the transaction, Totoki was left with 173,000 shares. He also wasn't the only executive to make a transaction after the announcement. Again, this is curious. The timing is curious. It also tells me that they don't think the stock is going to go higher. They're cashing out while the stock is riding high. Because I think they know over the next couple of years, things aren't looking too good for Sony. So take the money and run, right? Also filed on July 3rd, Sony Chief Strategy Officer Toshimoto Matomo sold 25,000 shares of stock, representing 18% of his total shares. He sold his shares at $21 as well, so it's $525,000 for him. Since the sale of the stock, Sony's share price hasn't changed much. In fact, as of publication, Sony shares are trading slightly higher on the New York Stock Exchange. What was it, 21.20? Where are we at now? 21.15. Yeah, it's about the same. They said in the 8 days since the announcement, Sony stock is up 6%. The announcement that Sony was ending the production of physical PlayStation games sent shockwaves through the industry. While many have come to expect it to happen eventually, the announcement still felt sudden, despite an 18-month buffer between now and then. And they didn't just come up with this yesterday. They've known for a while that this is the direction they were going to go in. They've been trying to push people in this direction. It's not going well for them. Since the announcement on July 1st, a Change.org petition titled "Don't Kill the Disc" has amassed over 216,000 signatures. Sony has yet to address any frustration and concerns from fans regarding this decision. They're just moving on. They're stepping over it. That is probably the worst thing they can do. But what do you say? What do you say? We're going to change our entire business model. I mean, this isn't like, we just talked about Cracker Barrel yesterday. It's not like you can put it back. I mean, if they're already shutting down the factories that make the discs. They already converted one of the factories. I read it was in Australia, I think, and they're making like micro lenses or something. They're not making Blu-rays anymore. They've already done it. They've already done it. So you guys are just a little slow. The consumer is usually the last one to know what's going on, right? So anyway, this is interesting too. This is coming from Polygon. PS5 fans flock to piracy as Sony plans to ditch physical games. Sony's decisions surrounding digital games and media on PlayStation products leads to unintended consequences. It said the interest in piracy of its hardware has begun to spike. Early in 2026, rumors spread that hackers had discovered a way to jailbreak PS5 consoles. Jailbreaking, as the name implies, is when a user overrides a piece of hardware's original programming. Jailbreaking can allow the illegal distribution of digital games, but also theoretically opens the door for game backups and homebrew support. Ironically, the method discovered in January of this year required using a random physical Star Wars game. 6 months later, the scene has exploded. Hackers have devised a number of ways to jailbreak PS5 consoles, especially those running early firmware versions. Folks with jailbroken PS5s are using their systems to download modern and retro games alike. Now, Nintendo, if your Switch 2 is jailbroken, you will go blind if you touch it. I'm pretty sure that that it will explode. Like the messages in Inspector Gadget, like, oh my God, you dared fuck with Nintendo's stuff because you thought it was your console, bitch. It's our console. It's Mario's console. Now he's gonna fuck you up. Yeah, it'll just like explode. No, not really. But I could see them doing that. They were talking they were gonna brick the consoles if they thought you're doing stuff like this. These companies are gonna do that. They're gonna be like, yeah, you don't even really own your console. Like, it used to be like you could tamper with it. You could mod your console to play foreign games or whatever, but you did so at your own risk and you voided the warranty. And now it's like, you don't even own your console. You're renting it. Sony's recent PS5 announcement has made a lot of people upset. Some people have responded to the news by declaring they'll no longer support Sony. Others are expressing their anger by turning to piracy. According to Google, as of this writing, searches for the terms PS5 jailbreak have risen 20% in the last 24 hours. Numerous videos focusing on the PS5 jailbreak scene or jailbreak tutorials have attracted comments from the past day referencing Sony's digital pivot. So people that have a PS5 with disk drive, just putting this in layman's terms here, people that have a PS5 with a disk drive are jailbreaking it so they can play homebrew games rather than give Sony more money. Who here is after the last week of PlayStation literally trying to commit seppuku? One commenter wrote on, they have seppuku. I think that's a game. I think that's like a word puzzle game. One commenter wrote on a popular video detailing PS5 jailbreak options. No, it's taking one's own life. And PlayStation is they've definitely chosen death. Fuck Sony, fuck Rockstar, fuck this generation. We all know why you're here, another YouTube commenter said with a shushing emoji. Over on the PS5 jailbreak subreddit, so they have a whole jailbreak subreddit, visitors have gone up by 10,000 since late May. Prices for a Star Wars game reportedly used to enable the jailbreak have risen on eBay as well. In January, it averaged about $250. Now the same game costs somewhere between $300 and $400. Which game is it? I gotta know which game it is. Star Wars Racer Revenge PS4. Limited run games. Wait, this is the game you need to jailbreak your PlayStation? I did not know that. And it's only this game? It's only this game. That's kind of wild. Yeah, there we go, guys. So get yourself a $415 copy of Star Wars Racer Revenge. That's crazy. News of the PlayStation Store shuttering on older platforms also appears to have stirred interest in piracy. Yeah, so basically people are like, yeah, Sony, you suck. We're going to take matters into our own hands. I think that the CEO knows it. I think they're done for. I think it's time for an mostly offline console. I don't see it happening, though, because a big corporation that has the money to make these consoles, there's no like recurring maximum profit to be had. And I think Nintendo's going to be the last company standing with physical media, but even then, it's not really physical media. It's just a box with half a game and maybe a code. So who knows? Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up, guys. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.